We did it! There's volume, folks. Unbelievable what's happening out here. My God. My God. History was made the other day. History was made, in case you missed it, where I did an hour and 20 minutes totally in silence, just talking to myself because this computer barely exists. I did the exact same setup today and it somehow works. I have no idea, but it works. God bless us all. Let's just triple, double check. Triple, double, check. There it is. Oh, my God, the volume. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports Mass, episode 98 and a half. This is our first half an episode since I made one of the greatest art pieces in podcasting history, really. Certainly the number one art podcast of the year the other day, where I did the whole show without knowing my volume was working. Unbelievable. Nearly 200 views already on a show with no volume. That is the power of Stancil Birthday and Sports Mass and Ski Mass Media, folks. Oh, my God. Yes. And this is not a show, a pathetic, one of these pathetic birthday shows where it's going to be, give me, money, give, me, give, like all these other pathetic shows, especially in this realm, all these other pathetic shows that they do their birthday streams where it's just begging for money. This is a sports program. This is a celebration of myself. One of the greatest athletes ever to grace this corner of podcasting. Maybe the only, frankly, real actual athlete in this corner of podcasting. We have so much to get to. It is December 13th, the year of our Lord and Savior, Jesus, Hieronymus Christ, 2024. My actual birthday was Wednesday when I did the legendary stream. 39 years old, the last year of my 30s, and I'm looking forward to it because the younger generation is so dumb. There's no real men anymore, so all the young ladies like the older men now because all the people their age are gay. So it's working out very well for me. God bless everyone. We made buku bucks, and again, I wasn't even asking for it, but God bless you all on a show that didn't even have volume on it the other day. Totally historical. The chat was flying off the handle. Oh, my God, comments galore. Unbelievable numbers on a show with no volume. And so now we got to do it we got to get it on wax, though. It's been a big week of sports. I got big stories to get to here. We'll get to the football, of course. Everybody calm down. We'll get to the football. But there's big stories. Get the business. We'll get to the business in a minute. Who gives a shit? Unbelievable, folks. Welcome to all you people with good taste. Didn't even announce this show until about 2 minutes ago because I don't care. It's like, again, just to get it out of the way, so we're all on the same page. All these people. I got to go. Oh, I can't go live now. He's live. Oh, somebody else is live. I don't want to go now because I'll get less views. Ooh, I should go live at 8 o'clock because that's when the most people are home. I do the show when I want to do it, and you people of good taste tune in when you can. Most of you watch later. Yes, I don't give a shit. Hashtag real job, hashtag real life, hashtag leave your house. Yeah, I have a shit ton to get to that I got to the other day, but I did it in silence to you. Was just a therapy session for me since my old therapist, Rob Romano, failed me. Send him a letter. No, he's actually a nice guy, but fuck him also, a bit of a COVID cuck. 39 years old, substance-free, Ozempic-free, supplement-free, not even a goddamn protein shake. None of it. It's all nonsense. It's all marketing bullshit. Don't feed into it. You don't need anything. You don't need supplements. You don't need pills. You don't need protein shakes. You don't need any of it. It's all marketing. You people who watch this fine show aren't sheep, but you got to go out there and tell everyone else. You got to stop with this bullshit. I see all these young kids at the gym who don't look like this, and they're doing this shake and that pre-workout shake, post-workout shake. They're measuring shit out. And meanwhile, I'm just putting them in body bags on the fucking gym floor with just drinking my water bottle and perhaps a Celsius, of course. There's nothing wrong with a Celsius when you're 39 years of age. Yeah, and that's why people tune into this, the Socrates of sport, the Nostradamus of national pastime, the Aristotle of athletics. It's me, Jim Stancil. I have a list of things to get to throughout the show that I've been right about because I'm Stancil Stradamus, and that's why people tune in. I'm pushing 40 games over 500 on my picks without the spread this year. My fantasy football team is 12-2. I have a bye week this week. It's not a mystery, folks. Well, this is why people tune in. Now, why? Now, here we fucking go. Now, why is my computer saying it's dying? It's plugged in. Here we go. There we go. Now it's plugged in. It's on this. I'm going to throw this computer through a wall. If it didn't work today, I was never going to do a show again. Yeah. All right, let's get to the big news of the week. We'll get right to it. We're getting right to it. Juan Soto signs with the Mets, 16 years, $765 million. Which is interesting. The Yankees offered him 15 years at $760 million. I don't really know what happened there, is what his issue was with the Yankees, but you got the feeling as these negotiations went on, he just wanted out of the Bronx, which is interesting. So here's the thing with Juan Soto. I spent many a game when he was on the Nationals over there in section 136 in left field of Citi Field, screaming at him. I've never loved his attitude. He's got a bit of I don't know. He seems a bit of an ego guy. He's a bit of a douche. But listen, put all that shit aside. I don't give a shit. The guy can hit. The man can hit. I don't give a fuck if he killed my mother if the Mets win a World Series. All right? So, all things being equal, beautiful signing by the richest Jew in baseball and the richest owner in baseball, Stephen Cohen, whose daughter Sophia is a beautiful girl. She watches the show. Shout out Sophia. Actually, one of my lady callers, she goes to her salon. So my little girl Sophia Cohen. Shout out to her dad and shout out to me. So with Juan Soto, you never listen, 16 years is a ridiculous length of time for any contract, especially in baseball. But, it's like, without getting into the nuts and bolts, these guys they get bought out. They get opted out of these contracts. Somebody buys the rest of their contract. So if that's what you had to give him to get him in the orange and blue, whatever, don't get caught up on the years because that really doesn't matter. Give me 5 or 6 good years out of this guy and I'll be happy. Right? So I don't give a shit about the years, really. I hear a lot of people talking about how they could sign a guy for this long. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? And the money, who gives a fuck? It's not your money. How could they spend that much money? He's a Jew. He's a rich Jew. And he's a great and powerful Jew. So I have no problem with this. And listen, let's sign Alonso. Give him a few years. What did I see? 3 years or something. Give him whatever, Mr. Cohen. Give me that Lindor, Soto, Alonso 3, 4, 5, baby. Maybe a Vientos at 2 and a Nimmo at 1. Nimmo, Vientos, Lindor, Soto, Alonso 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, baby, and we're cooking. And then you got some other weapons behind that. So yeah, glad we got Soto. Don't love him as a person, but I don't, like I said, who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? Just hit the ball. Like they said in the NBA, shut up and dribble. Now, I think the other side of this is I think this is the final nail in the Yankees' coffin. And I say that because of this. I think it's interesting. The Yankees, the Yankees are no longer, and this cements it. This has been coming. You've seen signs of it, even as early as last year with missing out on Ohtani. The Yankees of old, that if you're around my age, which is now 39, that grew up with in the late 90s and early 2000s, even all of the 90s, I guess. If there was a guy Steinbrenner wanted, Cashman was going to get him. Period. Stop. Whoever the Yankees wanted, they got. And over the last 5-10 years, you've seen that slowly slip away. And then you have a guy this year who's one of the Yankees' star players. And not only does he leave the team, he goes across town because they outbid the Yankees. They gave him more money. So this is ring the bells, play the funeral dirge. The days of the Yankees being the Yankees are officially done. No longer can they sign whoever they want. Like I said, Ohtani was the canary in the coal mine last year, and this is the final nail in the coffin as Juan Soto takes the 7 train down to Queens from the Bronx. And the Yankees are officially no longer the Yankees. They haven't won a World Series in forever now, for the Yankees at least forever. And they can't sign just whoever they want like they did in days of yore. So I think that is almost just as interesting story if you're from the tri-state. I think that's just as interesting as the signing itself. Is the death knell of the Yankees being the Yankees. The Yankees are now just like everybody else when it comes to signing players. So there's not much else to say about that, about Soto. It's pretty straightforward. And as far as the Mets go, let's get some pitching now. The lineup is done. Sign Alonso. Put a pin on signing people with this lineup. And let's shore up that bullpen. And then the Yankees, meanwhile, overreacted, by the way. The next day, they signed the Max Fried Braves pitcher to 8 years for $218 million for Max Fried. That is, let me say it again. The Yankees signed Max Fried for 8 years at $218 million. Talk about a quick overcorrection, but I guess they wanted to sign somebody to save a little bit of face after they lost out on Soto. And again, interesting. The Yankees just offered 1 year less and only $5 million less than the Mets offered him. So technically more. A year less, but only $5 million less on the deal. Which is interesting. I don't know. I don't have any inside info, folks. But for whatever reason, Soto did not seem interested in staying in the Bronx where he already was. And I talked to some Yankees fans, and they said all year he's a bit of a weird. But like I said at the top, he's a bit of a weird guy. I think he's an egomaniac type of guy, which is fine when you just got a $700 million contract. I guess you could do that. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful job by me. I can't believe I did it. They're now with volume. Unbelievable. Before I get to the next story, I went out Sunday with Tommy Seven Names, with Ant Mead, with Julio, with White Julio. All the heads. Hack Jokerson just texted me earlier. All the heads of the 5 families leaving my house, hanging out with the people all these other shows only talk about. We'll probably cover it on the next Ski Mask Collective, but we both have busy schedules this weekend, so I don't know if we'll get to it. But pretty pathetic last weekend after we I didn't watch the show. I just happened to see that Kevin Brennan had on Teamster Tim, and then he's begging to have the beautiful My Lady, who I actually hang out with in real life and will again in May, and look at her fine ass and titties. She was begging to have Lady KB on. So again, Stancil Stradamus, how the mighty have fallen. MLC now not only not having real comics on, going the other way and just having fellow common people on. as I always say, the charm used to be every once in a while, every month or every couple months, he would have on a whack packer like me or Teamster Tim or Stevie Lou, something like that. And now it's weekly. Pathetic, really. But oh well. And listen, as always, I just want what's best for that program. I love Kevin Brennan. I love the heart of MLC, but it's clearly the begging for super chats and draining you fine people for every penny you're worth has caught up to the show. I get messages all the time now of what happened to the show. It used to be pushing 1,000 viewers. Now I see he gets 500 or 600 live viewers for his program. So, Stancil Stradamus, what are you going to do? Whee! Yes, yes, yes. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Yeah, and yes, after going out last Sunday with everyone, yes, maybe I did throw up all day Monday. I'm 39, but I'm an adult. I had nothing to do Monday. I knew I'd be hungover, so nothing wrong with throwing up bile until 4 o'clock. Big deal. It was worth it. I paid the iron price. Quick business before we get to the next story, which is Paul Bissonnette being a bitch. And once again, Stancil Birthday, I called it when this story came out that beat Paul Bissonnette, or Biz Nasty, as they call him on Gay Barstool and whatever the fuck else he's on. We'll get to that in a second. Business first. I'm not going to sit here and beg, ooh, it's my birthday, give me money. Ooh, it's my birthday, give me money. No. Write down at patreon.com, Ski Mask Media, $3 for the month. Put out multiple Patreon shit every week. Or you could send money to my accountant that goes directly, and he sends it to me at DaveD23 on Venmo. There you go. That's it. That's the business. Feel free to super chat. All super chats get read. I'll go through the poor people chat at my goddamn leisure. And I appreciate the poor people chat as well. But if you want it read if you want it definitely read and read sooner than later, just put a buck or two behind it. Or don't. I don't fucking care. I already demonetized. I let off the show once again just to show you I don't care and to separate myself from these glorified telemarketers, or what is it called when they do the telethon people that are in this realm of podcasting who just beg. It's all about chat. I started the show playing with the boys on my phone again, demonetized the show right off the bat. It was never about money. It's for the love of the game. Baby! Woo! Anywho. The video came out of Bissonnette. If you don't know the story, I'm not going to really explain it. Paul Bissonnette's an ex-hockey player. He's now a Barstool cuck and an ESPN talking head. He got into it. The story was he got into it with a bunch of guys at the local bar. He claimed he took on 5 guys and gave him the business. But the video don't lie, Paul. And Stancil called it. I called it before the video came out when the story came out. What a douche this guy is. Why is he fucking with these guys? Drunk guys, just stay out of it. Mind your business. And then the video comes out, and it's just as old Stancil said. You see the guys leaving the restaurant. Bissonnette walks out with them. Could have just stayed in the restaurant, called the authorities, had them take care of it for yelling at and assaulting employees. He goes out there. He tries to fight all these guys. Now, you listen to him tell the story before the video comes out. He told you he got a bunch of good. They got the worst of it. You should see the other guy. Listen, the video ends with Bissonnette with no shirt on running away from these guys in a parking lot. Okay? So spare me. He's running away from these guys. They tear his shirt off. He gets a couple defensive punches in, but in no way did he get the upper hand on any of these guys. So shove it. Paul, you talking asshole. The video literally ends. You can go pull it up. I don't have a producer here or anything. But the video ends with him running away across a parking lot from these 5 elderly men and their fat sons. Pathetic. I'm right again. Yeah, so spare me that bullshit. Please, Paul. What else? Oh, the Jimmy V college basketball tournament is going on this week, which they do every year. Blah blah blah. Cancer awareness, or they raise money for cancer to give cancer money or something. That's all fine and well and good. Well, you know, it got me thinking of ha ha ha. I don't like the ringing the bell when you beat cancer. That has always rubbed me the wrong way. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, you're probably living under a rock, but it's like a thing at these chemo places where when you're cancer free, you get to ring the cancer free bell on the way out. You wouldn't catch me dead of cancer ringing a bell if I beat cancer. The hubris, the absolute hubris you have to ring a bell and mush it in cancer's face. You're asking for it to come back. You will never catch me ringing a bell. It gives me cringe goosebumps every time I see these people ringing a bell and they beat cancer. You really want to rub you beating cancer in cancer's face? First of all, you didn't beat it. Technology, also known as radiation, beat it. You didn't do anything to fight cancer. That's why it always makes me laugh. And my dad's dead of cancer, by the way. But it always makes me laugh when I'm fighting cancer. You're not fighting anything. Cancer's beating your weak ass, as it does to most of us. So to ring a bell at the end, I don't know. I wouldn't do it like I said. I would never ring a bell when I beat cancer. You're asking for it to come back. And frankly, maybe you deserve it to come back if you have the hubris to ring a bell in cancer's face. Shame on you. I hate that trend. I hate that it's a timeline thing. And I think it's cringeworthy every time I see these people ringing bells because they beat cancer. Oh, yeah? Did you beat it when it comes back? You fucking hacks. Anyway, this is the mind of Jim Stancil and what's eating Jim Stancil on his birthday week. Birthday week. Wee. I'm gay. Just a black coffee because I'm a man. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Anyway, a classic birthday memory, by the way, since this is technically the birthday show Redux now with volume. There was a legendary Jets game. My girlfriend at the time, who, if you watch the show, you might be familiar. She's one of the two girlfriends I've had who, after we broke up, became morbidly obese and became a lesbian. And you know my reasoning, folks. You say it with me if you're a longtime viewer of the show. You know it. The reason after they date me, they become fat and lesbian is because once you get to the top of the mountain, there's nowhere else to go, baby! Now, this particular girl actually also not only got fat and became a lesbian, she tried to kill herself too, which is pretty classic. Big Stu getting the ball rolling. He's 300 pounds of pure good taste. Big Stu Cluster, the West Coast whack job, they call him. I think he's out there in Washington State with Courtney Brooke. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stu. $99.99. God bless you, Stu. That's very nice of you. You didn't have to do that, but goddamn, I appreciate it. I just looked today. Negative $350 in the old account, but that's okay. I get paid Tuesday. It's fine. And that's because I had a payment. It's all fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I make plenty of money. I do need a goddamn new computer. That's my pledge to you folks. 2025, I'm going to figure out a way to buy a new goddamn computer. Stu Cluster 9999. Happy birthday from a 300-pound neckbeard to our dead dads. I'll drink to that. Our dads didn't ring any bells. They died like men. Harumph. Harumph to you, Stu. Merry Christmas. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, talking about my fat dyke ex-girlfriends. So, and by the way, very hot at the time. She was. After we broke up, she tried to slit her wrist and then over the course of months, became very fat. And next thing I know, a year later, she's dating a woman. Anywho, the point of me bringing this up is she got me Jets tickets for my birthday one year. This is... Man, I think it's probably 2011. It was a Jets-Dolphins game. She got the cheapest tickets, but it was fun. It doesn't matter if you've been in an NFL game. It's really more about the tailgate than the game. It was me. Aunt Mead was there. Juggy, who if you were, again, a longtime viewer, you know from the early days of Sports Mask. Black Travis, who has been on this show. White Julio, I believe, was there. So we get there a little late. We have to park an auxiliary lot. I think I may have told this story forever ago on this show, but also maybe not. Mead, we're playing beer pong pregame in a parking lot there. Mead has to produce a bowel movement. No restrooms or porta potties in this auxiliary lot. Mead proceeds to, there was a trailer, like a trailer for a truck. Like no truck part, just the standing trailer, like 18-wheeler trailer. You got me? Get me. Mead proceeds to crouch under this trailer and produce what can only be described as a very large bowel movement under the trailer, and then we all took turns going to look at it. That's how the day started. Then we take a school bus. That was the shuttle to the actual, this was still Giant Stadium at the time, technically. Was it, or was it MetLife? I think it was still Giant Stadium. Once we're in the game, Juggy disappeared in the second quarter. We realized at halftime he never came back. Come to find out, obviously we were all in the bag. Juggy somehow walked out of the stadium in the second quarter and wasn't allowed back in. So he just sat outside the stadium and talked to security guards the rest of the game until we left. And then my friend Jack fell down 4 rows of seats at some point in the second half. Wonderful time. That's a great Sterling birthday memory. Wow, De-La gifted membership. Shout out. A birthday miracle. Unbelievable what's happening out here. Yes, if you want anything 100% read or looked at, you do have to super chat it. I'm not begging you for super chats. I'm not begging you for everything. Support it if you want. Don't support it if you don't want. I am very poor, but I don't do this for the money. I do it for the love of the game. That's why I'm Stancil Stradamus. But that was a great birthday memory. A large bowel movement under a trailer truck. My friend Juggy getting so lost in the stadium, he just walked out of the stadium and wasn't allowed back in. And then my friend falling down multiple rows of seats. Oh, and then I almost got in a fight with the Dolphins fan on the shuttle back. Never physically, but all I was yelling on the bus was the Jets won, and all I was doing, pointing at him and going, loser, winner, loser, winner, loser, winner. Literally like that for about 20 minutes. His friends had to hold him back. I was just laughing hysterically. I know you may not be able to believe I could do such a thing, but that is indeed what happened out here. A wonderful birthday memory. What else happened? What else is in the birthday realm? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? What else before we get to the football, the current events of the football? Oh, a quick aside. They're making the 30 for 30 on the sack record. And I don't know if you saw it. It was on the news. Obviously, it was on ESPN because they're promoting it. But in the documentary, Mark Gastineau held the sack record, confronted Brett Favre. If you're old, now 39, 39, boom, boom, boom. If you're 39 like me or around then, you'll remember basically Brett Favre lied down and let Strahan sack him the last game of the season to break the record. He was tied with Mark Gastineau. In the clip they put out, you see Gastineau confronting Favre, saying he owes him his record. It was pathetic what you did. I'm paraphrasing here, but you get it. Frankly, Mark Gastineau's right. And I had the pleasure of meeting Mark Gastineau because I leave my house. My buddy's friend growing up, and we're talking middle school age, his dad had season tickets, so he would go to a few games a year, Jets games. One of the games we left a bit early. We had to get back for something or other. We're walking out, and Mark Gastineau was walking right next to us. I didn't know who he was at the time. I'm fucking 10 or something, 12. I don't fucking know. But my buddy's dad knew him. He talked to him. Mark Gastineau was very nice. He signed shit for us. I still have it somewhere. I think he signed the playbill or fucking whatever the fuck they call it. Thank you, Stu, and thank you, Dela, for the gifted thingamajig. God bless you all. And may the Lord have mercy on your soul. As Father Paul Fens would say, God bless you, Paul. So shout out Mark Gastineau and fuck Brett Favre. Yeah, I didn't like it at the time, what Brett Favre did, and I goddamn sure don't like it now. So shout out Gastineau for standing up for himself. And Brett Favre sends picture of his private parts to women. Rack me and rack him. Excuse me. Wow, I can't believe I have volume today. I have no idea what happened the other day, by the way. No idea what happened. Today it's working fine. I caught up at the last 20 minutes of the show. You know, you people could stop being so sarcastic when I don't have volume and actually tell me when I don't have volume. And I'll get to the poor people chats in a bit. Don't worry. But yeah, I have no idea. I unplugged the thing. I plugged it back in. I don't know. Again, the exact same setup I do every time. I don't know why I didn't have volume the other day. But God damn it, we got it now. Anywho, let's get to the current events of fucking football now, folks, shall we? The Rams played last night, but really quickly from last weekend, that Rams 49ers game, Stancil Stradamus on both. I've been saying for a while now, if you watch the show, you know the Rams are a good team. They had a slow start, and I said, I've been saying all year, they have weapons. Stafford is a solid quarterback. Puka Nakua, whatever the fuck his name is, low key, one of the better receivers in the league, and I don't say that lightly. A great offensive line, a decent defense. The Rams, after last night, now have 8 wins, and they have an easy schedule coming up to finish the season. I thought I wrote it down. I guess I didn't. Who gives a fuck? But yes, and I've been saying all year, and I've been saying it since last year, the 49ers have been overrated. There's a lot of hot air of just, it's self-fulfilling, kind of manifesting that the 49ers are good. Listen, they have a good defense. Brock Purdy is an average quarterback. McCaffrey has been done. I've been telling you all year there's really not much to the 49ers, and they proved it again against the Rams, who the Rams are the opposite, where the Rams are an actually good team that people aren't paying attention to. And they proved it again. I'm sorry, the Rams beat the Bills. I was talking about the Bills from last Sunday. The Rams beat the 49ers last night. Doesn't really change anything. Everything I said is still a fact. Yes, the Rams so this is what the Rams have left now. They have the Jets next week, so that's a win. Then they have Arizona, who we know is led by a fetal alcohol syndrome Kyler Murray and aren't going anywhere. And then they have Seattle, last game of the year. So they have a very good chance of even winning that division. We'll go over all that in a bit here. And the Rams can be a dangerous team in the playoffs. I truly believe that. And they proved it again Sunday, the Rams. Last night's game was ugly. It was a field goal fest, but a win is a win. Raining, and they got it done. And yeah, as far as that win over the Bills, and we'll get to the Bills in a bit, not only as I trashed last week, I think it's safe to say now, after they pushed a girl with cancer down flights of stairs 2 weeks ago, they are the trashiest fan base in sports. For some reason, Barstool glorifies them going through tables and pouring ketchup on themselves. If you think that's cool, good. I think it's gay fat retards who live in northern New York where there's nothing else to do except eat wings, fart, and go to football games and throw each other through tables. So to each their own, but I think Bills fans are trash. And I've not been high on the Bills all year. If you watch a show, again, Stancil Birthday, they lost weapons that were never replaced. The defense is okay. The running game is not much there. They have a lot of wins. They play in one of probably, if not the worst, one of the worst divisions in football, the AFC East this year, with the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots, who they get to play twice. So there's 6 games right there, 6 wins right there. Yeah, I'm not high in the Bills. A lot of these other places you look have Bills ranked really high, Super Bowl contenders. I just haven't seen it. And they lost to the Rams last week. They have a tough game this weekend, which we'll get to. Also, another Stancil Birthday here. Again, just to reiterate, the Socrates of sport, the Nostradamus of national pastime, the Aristotle of athletics, Jim Stancil Birthday. I also told you all year when everyone else was puffing on their penises that the Falcons were a nothing burger, and Kirk Cousins has been overrated his whole career. And sure enough, the Falcons have completely fell off any kind of hope they still have a little bit of hope in that division because that division is so weak this year, which again we'll get to. We'll go around the standings in a minute. But the Falcons were who Stancil told you they were. So again, just know, you find people that are listening to these words and actually listening this today instead of like Wednesday when it was just me moving around with no words coming out. You people know it, but it's unbelievable how these major organizations, ESPNs, Barstools, whatever, I've been saying this all year. This is nothing new to me. And now all of a sudden they're surprised the Falcons have fell apart. Kirk Cousins, I think, has 8 interceptions and no touchdowns in the last 4 games, something like that, or 6 games. Jamie, look it up. And Kirk Cousins has always been a compiler. He had a couple big moments, but by and large, he's a guy with a big arm. Another one of these average quarterbacks who has had great moments, put it that way. What else? Playing with a boy. You want to show me how little I care? Play the fucking song. Fuck you, YouTube. It was a right time. Yeah, playing with a boy. Hey, YouTube's lawyers, take a listen to this. All these other hacks don't have the balls to demonetize their channel because all they want is to drain you, my fellow citizens, of your money. Play the song on your phone, Kevin. Play a song on your phone, Chad. Play it on your phone, various fruits and vegetables. You fucking hacks, each more hacked than the last. Can you believe? I don't know how any of you who are familiar with these shows can believe it. I've gone 40 minutes, and I've done a show talking about actual things. I haven't even mentioned the word Stuttering John, or Shuley, or Steel Toe, or Gino, or whatever the fuck. These fucking hacks have been talking about the same fucking people for 3 fucking years. Who gives a fuck about it? These people were losers before you started talking about them, and you made a whole universe around them. What is wrong with you people? I don't get it, but to each his own, I guess. You're all gay in my book. Anywho, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the poor people chat. Why don't we? Shout out Big Stu coming through with the hammer. Shout out Vinny Cash from the Mute podcast on Wednesday. Shout out White Julio from the Muted podcast on Wednesday. Lady KB chipped in. I'm just trying to give, since I was on mute, I thanked you on that show, but I didn't realize you couldn't hear me. Somebody else, a couple people pitched in a few bucks. Very nice of you all. Rippers After School, drop in the hammer. 20 Ski Mask Media memberships. And since I'm in between, I'm doing a segue anyway, just to re-up it. Patreon.com Ski Mask Media. We have over, I think, 11 posts in the last month. That's almost 2 posts a week. Well, these other hacks barely release everything. And we don't even do this for a living. We do this for the love of the game, Jimmy boy. And some of this stuff is not, so Patreon.com Ski Mask Media, $3 gets you everything. Look at that as a once a month super chat, as I always say. Feel free to do that. You can Venmo my accountant at DaveD23 if you want to cut out YouTube's lawyer. I can't be trusted with my money, so my accountant at DaveD23 handles that. And as Rippers After Dark and Big Dayla did as well, yeah, become a member. Some of the posts, some of the live posts I do, Sports Mask is always free for everyone. Ski Mask Collect is always free for everyone. Anything else you see live, sooner or later goes behind the paywall. Some for Patreon, some for members. So you actually get something besides just supporting some blue-collar men who actually leave their house and do stuff. Shout out Tommy 7 Names for Sunday. He brought the bag, boys. Let's just say there was a bag, boy. Hell of a day, hell of a celebration. Wednesday, I just went out for dinner. Wonderful time. Ate some tacos, drank tequila, shoved tequila down my throat. Wonderful. Thanks, Stu, Dela, Rippers. God bless you all. And may God bless these United States of America. What's going on with these drones in New Jersey, folks? Anybody in Jersey can report on these drones? What's happening out there? All right. I'm a gracious God, and it's technically this is my birthday show, so let's see what the poor people are saying. See if anything catches my little eye. Let's see. Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff going on. You know, I should have known the other day when I saw there was like 160 messages in here that there was something wrong. I didn't even barely check them till the end. Dan, playing with a boy. Playing with a boy. I can't even get to the top of these. Wow, the free chat is popping off today. Husey, take a look at the numbers. I mean, almost 200 views on the Mute show the other day. Take a look at that, Husey. Isn't that unbelievable? Okay, I like this to start it off with. Funky Bronco, Stancil, let's fucking drive back up to New Hampshire to DP Flatcat Jessica. You can pick what hole you want. Woo-hoo-hoo. I might go mouth on old Flatty Catty with those big milkies. Let's see. Yeah, we might get Chuck Mangione on Ski Mask just because that killer guy. I don't know what this says, Honky Tonk, Tennessee, but those locks, Stancil, cool look, man. Ladies be all over this. I get it now. You goddamn right. Leffer is very fat now. I don't even know what this is reference to, but it's funny. It just said he a fucking Jew. Wonderful. This happens weekly. Sports Mask every week, baby. Absolutely. This is the 4th or 5th year. We do a hybrid in the football season every week. We do a hybrid in the off season. We'll do it as I please because I don't know anybody anything. But yes, coming up on episode 100. We'll get to episode 100 right at the end of the year. BYB, you threw in a couple bucks and you missed it because my mic wasn't working Wednesday, but I totally ripped you apart. Oh, that was my question to you, Quadfather. Why don't you look like this up top? I don't give a shit if your legs don't work, which by the way is a lie. I've seen your limbs move. Why don't you get those things work? You're in the chair anyway. Fucking get those things working, baby. I want to see a jacked Quadfather in 2025. That's what I want, besides a new computer. What did Declinos say? Declinos is right. You look very Mexican today. Yes. Maybe I went in the stand-up tanning booth earlier in the week. Who's to say? Keeping up appearances. Somebody's got to fuck these 20-year-old girls. What do you want me to do? I have to do it. It's basically fucking community service at this point. Playing with the boys. Nose clamps, absolutely. Shout out Tommy Seven Name. Shout out Aunt Mead and all the other folks who came out at the best bar in America on Sunday. Playing with a boy. KB, going to go on this weekend just to spite you. That's fine. Just make sure Kevin knows he's getting sloppy seconds, and that's no offense to you. That's offense to Kevin. You are OG on this show, and now Kevin is clamoring for pathetic guests. Not that you're pathetic. I consider myself pathetic in that realm. We're in the same boat. That's why it used to be funny when you or me or these whack packers would go on, but now the whole show is pretty pathetic. The whole charm of Kevin was that he would punch up, and now he's dealing with just losers. It's all just so below him. I say that as a compliment to him. Yes, Decline host, as you always do, you say it better than I could do it. Kevin starts his show, and within 20 seconds, he is playing Stuttering John clips, and I'll add to that, he's eating raisin bread. And right in, not you people, you're fine people because you watch Release Pro, but right in these super simp chatters' faces, he's just doing a shit of a show and they're just shoving money at him. It's like I always said, it's like a fraternity. You pay for friendship. I would never join a fraternity like Luigi Mangione. He has become what he hates as Shuley. I won't stand for it. 100%. That's been my point this whole time. He used to make fun of Steel Toe for hitting the goal. He used to make fun of Shuley for watching clips. Now that's the whole show. It's literally what 3 years ago he was ripping on is now his show. Because it's all about the dollar, which is what it's the least about here. I'll demonetize this fucking show again to show you how much I give a fuck. Yeah, there you go. Fuck your money. I do need money, so please don't actually not give me money. But I'm not going to make my whole show about it. Guys, I don't even know if I can get to all this. Stu Cluster, of course. Yeah, again, I'm sorry. There's a lot of shit in here, but I just don't have... This is not... I'm not going to stoop to the level of these other fucking shows, no offense, and just sit here and read comments all day. I have my own shit I want to talk about. That's why I don't have guests, because I can carry a show on my own. That's why I don't watch clips, because I can carry a show on my own. That's why I don't stream snipe, because I can carry a show on my own. That's why I don't talk about other people for 4 hours a day, because I don't need to talk about other people, because I leave my house, I got my own shit to talk about. Vinny Cash, football is gay. You're goddamn right. Hey, Vinny, send me a fucking computer, all right? Now I'm begging. Just send me a fucking computer, man, please, please. No, I'm kidding, Vinny, but I'm not kidding, but send me a computer. But also, when are you going to stop inviting Ski Mask to Utah? Invite me to Utah. I'm an actually double black diamond skier, And I fucking won't pass out 4 times a day. I would love to come out there. Let's hit the slopes in more ways than one, Vinny. Da 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 da. It was the right time. Dr. Chow didn't know you were alive. It was a wrong time playing with the boy. Joe List has a small mouth. I like Joe List. Okay, all right. I caught up again. Shout out, I tried, poor people, but there's just so many. So if I missed something you want read, read it. We got to get to the games. We got to get to the current events of the NFL, folks. This is a sports show. This is a sports show. This is a sports show. And it is in the vein. I grew up listening to Sports Radio 66 WFAN New York. Mike and the Mad Dog, Tony Page, Steve Summers, Papa Joe Chevalier in the overnights. I listened to sports radio every night up until I started listening to podcasting. That was about 2015. Literally from when I was a boy, my grandfather's transistor radio tuned in to 660 AM. So this is a salute, an homage, if you will, to the great talk radio, sports talk radio shows. The kicker with all this is that I'm an actual All-American athlete, where most of these other people who talk about sports have never achieved anything, where I've been to the top of the mountain and the bottom of the seas and everything in between. And that's why you folks, that's why everyone, ask Husey about the numbers. The numbers continue to be massive. Thank you all for these unbelievable, just totally unbelievable numbers that have been coming across my wire. My desk is full of papers and numbers. All right. Enough nonsense. Let's take a look at the standings, then we'll get to the picks, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. I mentioned it at the top, but again, Stancil Stradamus, my fantasy team, I have a bye week because I'm 12-2. That's a $200 12-team buy-in league. I'm pushing 35 games over 500 in my picks without the spread this year. You came to the right place if you want to know about sports, folks. Don't listen to these other sheep. God bless you all. Let's take a look at the standings. The Bills have the AFC East locked up. As you heard me before, I don't really believe in their Bills, and their fans are pieces of shit, but they have the AFC East locked up. The Chiefs, like it or not, and we'll get to my power rankings because I know everybody waits with bated breath every week for Jim Stancil's power ranking. Chiefs are still 12-1. Everybody likes to say, oh, they're underachieved, blah, 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 blah. They're winning that division. They have one loss. And they're two-time defending Super Bowl champs. So I don't see how anybody, doubt them all you want, but they continue to win. I understand they have the most one-score games in their history, blah, blah, blah. 12-1. Chiefs, 12-1. I'll leave it at that. So that division is locked up. The AFC North in a stunning turn, folks. The Steelers at 10-3. I talked about it last week, so I'm not going to go into the whole thing again. The Steelers are the real deal, believe it or not. Russell Wilson is, again, the real deal. This is why Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Fame coach. The opposite of the Jets franchise, as I highlighted on last week's show. The Steelers are sitting at 10-3. They have a great defense. They have solid offense. They have a veteran quarterback, and they have a Hall of Fame coach. Watch out for the Steelers. And the Ravens all of a sudden are 8-5 in second place there. The Texans, the AFC South, still up for grabs, very much so up for grabs. The Texans at 8-5 and the Colts at 6-7 there. So let's take a look at the wild card in the AFC. It's going to be, we have the Chargers at 8-5. We have the Broncos at 8-5. And we have the Ravens at 8-5. We then have the Colts at 6-7. The Texans are 8-5, but they're in first in that division. I think you're going to get 2 out of the 3 from the Chargers, Broncos, and Ravens there. It seems like the Steelers are going to win that division, believe it or not. Who would have thought? With the Bengals and Ravens and what the Steelers were looking at to begin the season. with Pickens and Pickett. What's become there. So, yes, I think you're going to see the Chargers with Harbaugh. I know they're tied with the Broncos and the Ravens, but a coach like Harbaugh, I think he's going to get him there. But it's going to be interesting. One of these teams is going to be the odd man out. Chargers, Broncos, or Ravens. You want to say the Broncos, but they've been surging as well. And the Colts, I guess, have very outside chance at 6-7. They're going to be more focused on their division there. Let's take a look at the NFC. Eagles are going to win the NFC East. The Redskins were threatening for a minute there, but the Eagles now are 3 games up. Eagles at 11-2, Redskins at 8-5. NFC West totally up for grabs. Almost all the teams are up for grabs. Technically not dead yet. Seahawks 8-5, Rams 8-6, Cardinals 6-7, 49ers 6-8. I don't think the Cardinals or the Niners are going anywhere. Hold on. NFC North, as great as the Lions have played, only 1 game up on the Vikings. Lions at 12-1, Vikings at 11-2. Packers not in it for the division, but Packers quietly still at 9-4. NFC South, coming down to the wire, it's all Bucks and Falcons. Bucks are surging while the Falcons are falling apart, like I mentioned before, and I told you the Falcons were never they are who I thought they was, but they weren't who ESPN or many of these outlets would have you believe they were early in the year with Cousins and whatever. There's just no meat on that bone in Atlanta, folks. But Bucks at 7-6, Falcons at 6-7, Saints maybe hanging on to some pipe dreams at 5-8, but I don't see it. So let's take a look at the wild card there. Then you got the Commanders at 8-5, you got the Rams at 8-6, and the Seahawks at 8-5. So one of those 2 teams. We'll say the Rams for now. Commanders, Rams, and/or Seahawks. It's going to be the Vikings. Vikings are 11-2. And the Lions have beat them. So it's going to be the Vikings. It's going to be the Vikings, and then one of 3, the Commanders and the Rams or Seahawks, whoever loses that division. I'm sorry, and then the Packers there. So the NFC wild card very much up for grabs, which makes some of these games very fun. Packers are 9-4, Vikings are 11-2. So the Commanders need to win, as well as the Rams and/or Seahawks need to keep winning, as those are high win totals. You may get 3 teams out of the NFC North in these playoffs, if you can believe it, folks. There's your picture of what the fuck is happening. Before I get to my power rankings, folks, and then we'll get to the picks for this week, you know what time it is. It's time to look at the college football scores from last week and highlight how much college football sucks. Let's take a look. Let's look. Where the hell is it? Let's take a look. Last week. This is college football scores from last week. All in one week. Haven't looked at them. I do this every week. I do it live just to prove my point about how much college football sucks. Army 35, Tulane 14, Boise State 21, UNLV 7. Not a huge blowout. This one is Arizona State 45, Iowa State 19. That's it. There weren't many games last week. Oh, they're doing this gay playoff stuff. So even within these gay playoffs, so these were playoff games? Oh, how embarrassing. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. Half of these games were at least 3 score difference between the winner and the loser. And that's the playoffs. You won't see that in all of the NFL playoffs. You won't see it the rest of the season combined in the NFL scores like that. And that's why the NFL is a superior product, not to mention just better. Obviously, I always say, why would I watch the Farm League when I could watch the real fucking thing on Sunday, folks? Yeah! I'm fine. Thanks for asking. All right, it's a moment you've all been waiting for. It's the power rankings going into week whatever the fuck it is. 15, 14, gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a shit? The power rankings, folks. At number 6, as an honorable mention, this is going to make a lot of waves. This list in general this week, people are going to be going wild about this. It's going to go viral on the internet. People are going to be very upset. But I'm telling you, it's true. Stancil Birthday, you watch and see these power rankings and how they play out. I'm putting the Bills as an honorable mention at 6. I'm putting the Steelers at 5. And yes, I'm putting the Ravens in front of the Steelers at 4, even though the Steelers have 2 more wins. I think the Ravens have had some tough losses. I think pound for pound, talent for talent, the Ravens are still a superior team to the Steelers. I got to give and again, this is going to make waves. I'm putting the Lions at 3, a one-loss team at 3. Best offense in the league, no doubt, in Detroit. Don't love the defense. I'm putting the Eagles at 2 for the same reason I put the Ravens above the Steelers. Pound for pound talent. I don't give a shit so much at this point in the year, the wins and losses. I care what my 2 eyes that have been watching sports my whole life see. And I think the Eagles, pound for pound, offense for defense, player for player, experience for experience, are a more powerful team, a better team than the Lions. And you guessed it, folks. I've been consistent all fucking year. They have 1 loss this year. They know how to win Super Bowls. They maybe are guilty of playing down to their opponents. The Kansas City Chiefs have been 1 in my rankings all year. There's no reason to change it now. They're 12-1. They're going to have a deep playoff run. They may be the first team ever to have a 3-peat championship. They know how to win. They're not going to empty all the engines playing these meaningless games that they're going to win anyway. That's why you see these one-scores games they're in. The Chiefs remain on top at number 1. 5 Steelers, 4 Ravens, 3 Lions, 2 Eagles, 1 Chiefs. There's your power rankings going into this week, folks. Rack me, rack you, and may God rack us all this holiday season. Now, folks, you know what time it is. It is time. We've all been waiting as we finish every show. Stancil Birthday, the Socrates of sport, the Aristotle of athletics, the Nostradamus of national pastime. You hear the music. It is time for the picks for week whatever the fuck of the NFL. Let me pull it up with spread. We have this fucking problem every week. NFL games with spread. Like I said, I am all pushing 35 games over 500 without the spread this year. And if you follow my picks, you'd be winning money this year. Don't fade me. I'm not the one you want to fade. Here we fucking go. Week 15 of the National Football. Let's try it again. Week 15 of the National Football League in America. Christmas is 2 weeks away. Jim Stancil's week of birthday, octave of my birthday. We're going to watch football. I got a gay holiday party I got to go to Sunday for fucking work. But I'm going to watch. Here we go, baby. The Ravens are going to MetLife Stadium Sunday at 1 o'clock, and they're going to blow the door. If that shitty stadium had a roof, which, by the way, it's the worst contemporary stadium in the NFL, MetLife, for someone who's been there multiple times. The Ravens are going to blow the roof that doesn't exist off of MetLife with points. The Ravens always score points. The Giants cannot score points. Tommy Cutlets is going to start, which means Tommy Cutlets is going to die. The Giants are getting 16 points at home. Here's a Stancil fact you're not going to get anywhere else. That is the largest spread as an underdog that Giants have had at home since 1966. Fact. Look it up. And I don't even have a producer here. I just know that. The Giants being plus 16 at home against the Ravens, the largest spread as an underdog they've had at home since 1966. And you know what, folks? That ain't even going to be close to enough. Give me the Ravens minus 16. I'll say it again. Give me the Ravens minus 16. A lot to prove. They had some tough losses recently. People are down on them. They're going to make a big statement Sunday in New York. And there's going to be a lot of Ravens fans there, folks. Look for that to be full of Baltimore Ravens fans. It's only an hour and a half up the interstate there. I saw earlier this week they're selling dollar tickets on the Game Time app. Dollar tickets for the Giants game this Sunday. So expect that to be full of Baltimore fans. And what may be the most meaningless game of the year, and we do have some good games coming up this week, by the way, I'll get to in a second. The Jets, the battle of the 3-10. Can you believe the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, the vaunted defense going into this year. 3-10 Jets going to the 3-10 Jags. Jets are favored by 3.5. Let's pray. I mean, the Jets have to win. I mean, give me the Jets minus 3.5. Let's move the fuck on. The Cowboys go to Carolina. Two teams going nowhere this year. If you're on crack and you're a Cowboys fan, you have some kind of hopes of playoffs, but it's not going to happen. Cowboys are getting 3. You got to take the Cowboys. Panthers are a mess. That's all. I'm not going to waste time there. Commanders going down to New Orleans. New Orleans, again, in that weak division. Another team with pipe dreams of somehow winning that division and making the playoffs, and would love to play spoiler for the Redskins. Washington is 8-5. Saints are 5-8. Saints are getting 7.5 at home. Saints could be a dangerous team. I don't think they're a good team by any means. But Kamara, Olave, some weapons on defense. Commanders win, Saints cover. Give me the Saints plus the 7.5 there. But the Washington, the Redskins football team, whatever the fuck they're called, I don't give a fuck. Look for them. Again, they should, barring some catastrophe, they really should make the playoffs, and they got to keep up with the Packers at 9-4 and the Vikings with 11 wins in second place. Commanders really have to win these games. What has turned into a pointless game, the Bengals, the too little too late Bengals at 5-8 going down to Tennessee. Ain't no place I'd rather be. Baby, won't you carry me and to Tennessee? Europe 72 is the vinyl. I own it. Grateful Dead. Unbelievable album. Unbelievable vinyl. Anywho, this game sucks. Bengals are -5. They'll cover. Give me the Bengals -5. Chiefs going to Cleveland. Now, you may be saying the 12-1 Chiefs going to the 3-10 Cleveland Browns. And the Chiefs are only giving up 4 points. Cleveland plays very well at home. Jameis Winston is found God or something. He's actually playing pretty well. They actually are still playing hard in Cleveland. Again, take it from me, Jim Stancil, accomplished athlete. I watch these games. I've seen their highlights. Cleveland is a losing team that is actually still playing hard. As high as I am on the Chiefs have to be careful here. I got to go. 1 second. Give me the... what do I want to do? Yeah, I think the Chiefs still cover. Give me the Chiefs -4, folks. The Dolphins at the Texans. Texans at 8-5, as we discussed, still have hopes of the playoffs there. They got to keep up, though. Dolphins would love to play spoiler. Dolphins somehow at 6-7. Not going anywhere, but interesting that they've crept up to 6-7 with all the trials and tribulations they've had in Miami. With that said, only -3 for Houston. Give me Houston -3 at home, and let's move the fuck on. Now, here we go. We got some interesting games in the late windows and at night. The 6-7 Colts at the 8-5 Broncos. Broncos need to keep pace to get that wild card. Broncos are -4 at home, at altitude. As much as I'd like the Colts and think they can be dangerous, I don't think so at Mile High in December. Give me the Broncos -4, keeping their playoffs hopes alive, and very much so putting an end to the Colts' playoffs hopes on the road. A pointless game here, it looks like on the surface, but when you look at that division, we got the Patriots are getting 6 points in Arizona. Arizona at 6-7, led by who, folks? You watch the show, you know what I'm going to say. The fetal alcohol-ridden quarterback, Kyler Murray. What do we say? Kyler Murray, for God bless him, but his eyebrow sits low over the eyes. He's got that moon face, but features mashed into the middle. Surely a sign of fetal alcohol syndrome. Surely a sign his mother was drinking and on drug when he was in utero. Kyler Murray leading the Arizona Cardinals. Can the Cardinals keep their hopes alive? Can the Patriots play spoiler? I just have a feeling here. I've been low on the Cardinals all year. Let's finish out the year. A devastating loss coming. If nothing else, I think the Patriots cover with a 6. So give me the Patriots +6, and don't be surprised if the Patriots win that one outright. Stancil Birthday. Huge game here. I would say this is the game of the week if it wasn't for the Steelers-Eagles games coming up in a bit. But the Bills at the Lions, this is what we all want to see, isn't it, folks? The Lions are getting -2.5 at home. Less than a field goal is basically a pick 'em. I am absolutely taking the Lions here. -2.5 at home. I think this is going to be the culmination of what I've been telling you all year, that the Bills are not who people think they were. Unlike the Chiefs, who are still a great team, the Bills are not the team of yore, and I think too many people are looking at the Bills' laurels and not what is actually happening on the field. And the easiest, one of the worst divisions in football, the AFC East. I think the Lions win this one outright. Don't worry about the -2.5. I think this cements what. Listen, Bills are going to make the playoffs and winning that division, but I think this is going to drive home what I've been saying all year, is that the Bills are not who many people think they are. They're not a Super Bowl contender this year. They lost too many weapons without filling them in. Give me the Lions -2.5. Don't be surprised the Lions win fairly easily there. Stancil Birthday, of course. Doesn't sound sexy, but big implications here. The Tampa Bay Bucks going to the LA Chargers, the 7-6 Bucks going to the 8-5 Chargers. Chargers -3 at home. You know I love that they led by Harbaugh, the best defense in the NFL. Don't forget with the LA Chargers, the best defense in the NFL. Bucks, again, playing for that division. They have a little bit of wiggle room. They have an easy schedule after this game, as I told you earlier. What did I say for the Bucks? I forget. Who gives a fuck? This isn't that kind of show. We don't fact check. I think the Chargers keep pace here. I think the Chargers, pound for pound, are going to be too much for the Bucks. Give me the Chargers -3 at home, but that will be a fun game. And I actually kind of like the Baker Mayfield. I've come all around on Baker Mayfield. I think Tampa Bay is a bit of a dangerous team if they can get in the dance. Mike Evans is fucking ageless. It's unbelievable what's happening out there. But give me the Chargers -3 in that game. Here's your game of the week, folks. This is the one, the Battle of Pennsylvania. Sandusky will be tuning in. Sandusky will be tuning in between clapping them boys' cheeks, boys. That's what you hear. That's what you hear when old Sandusky's around. The Pittsburgh Steelers going to the shithole of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where all the comics who can't cut it in New York move to Austin, Philadelphia, that is. That's what happens when you can't cut it in New York City, move to Austin. That's the Philly comic way. No offense, of course. Anyhow, the spread here is the Eagles -5.5. Love this game. Sexy game for many reasons. You had some trials and tribulations in the Eagles locker room this week. The Steelers, surprising everybody, including old Stancil, with their resurgence, and the Mike Tomlin-led Steelers whatever Watt and the good defense and the blah, blah, blah. All that said, I think the Steelers come a little bit back down to earth this week. I think the Eagles, as you saw my rankings, are a very good team. I mean, they're 11-2. The record speaks for itself, and I think they're not talking about enough with the weapons they have there. Give me the Eagles -5.5 there in Philly, and they're at home. Your Sunday night game, folks, another good one with a big implications in the NFC. The 9-4 Packers, the third place in their division, by the way, behind the Lions and the Vikings, by the way. The third place 9-4 Packers going into Seattle at 8-5, trying to keep their hopes alive in a big way. Seahawks getting 2.5 at home. As much as I hate Geno Smith, another tough place to play in December with that crowd, whether the music is piped in or not. Ask Stu Cluster, maybe he can tell us. And I had nothing against him, but he had a huge run last year, did Jordan Love, going in the playoffs. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. He just keeps falling short of that next tier of quarterback. This will tell us a lot in this game. With that said, I could be wrong. Good luck to Jordan Love. I'm taking the Seahawks getting points at home, +2.5. And then we got two games Monday night. So nice. They made it twice. Both of them, none of them very sexy, other than the fact that a team in each of them needs to keep winning. You have the Bears at the Vikings, so these are going to be spoiler games for these loser teams. You have the 4-9 Bears going to the 11-2 Vikings. Vikings, I'm sure if you ask them, they're not counting out overtaking the line. All it takes is a couple Lions losses and a couple Vikings wins, and all of a sudden the Vikings are in first place after all the bluster you've heard about the Lions all year. Vikings are only a 2-game swing away from first place in that division. Vikings are giving up a touchdown at home. I don't think that's going to be enough, frankly. The Bears got totally embarrassed last week. Tough to come back from that. And I think the Vikings, as I just said, have all the momentum, and they're trying to make moves. Give me the Vikings minus that touchdown at home on Monday night. And again here, as I said, we're bringing it all around. The 6-7 Falcons trying to keep pace in that division as they've been slowly fading away, and Tampa has been slowly running it up as Tampa's overtook them in that division. The 6-7 Falcons going to the Las Vegas Raiders, who have been bailed out by the Bills Mafia and the low class, low IQ, the Bills fans who stink like sulfur and ketchup, who've overtaken the Raiders fans as the least classy fans in sport. Raiders, surprisingly, are getting only 4 at home. You know, Raiders are another team. I watched them in that national game a couple of weeks ago with Max Crosby. Raiders are another team that plays hard. Antonio Pierce has them playing hard. They'll love to play spoiler on national TV Monday night. Give me the Raiders plus the points. That wraps up the picks for week fucking 15 of the NFL. De-La at the buzzer. $2. Get well soon. I do have a cold. How did you know? You can tell by my voice. A little stiff neck flu, folks. Thank you, De-La, getting it in. Shout out Big Stu. And, of course, Rippers After Dark with the massive 20 gifted memberships. Quick check of the poor people chat before we wrap this up. With the volume, I still did fucking an hour and 20. Fuck the Packers, says Stu Cluster. Get well soon. Thank you. Unbelievable rankings, Bon Levy. Unbelievable. Picks are always wrong, too. Let me show you this. Here, you want to see something? You want to see something here? I'll show you the proof. You want to see the numbers? I got numbers. Unbelievable. 114-72. There's your fucking always wrong Hicks, you fucking Dr. Chow, you piece of shit. Go watch another Hackverse podcast where they talk about the same shit all the time. We do real shows here. God bless you all. Once again, thank you everybody who gave money on the Mutecast on Wednesday. It was one of the biggest art projects of the year. Look out, I very well may be live later tonight, so if you're not on the Patreon, you got to watch live. Otherwise, that goes behind the paywall. It goes to the members, and then it goes behind the paywall. $3 gets you everything. Look at it as a once-a-month super chat. At DaveD23 is my accountant on Venmo. If you want to send stuff there, because I can't be trusted with my money. Folks, I did it again. Not a single guest, not a single clip watch, not a single stream snipe, not a single half-hour block of reading meaningless comments. As much as I love you, that's why you tune in. I did it. You did it. Count all the drums. Bring home the votes. And as always, folks, 2 Monday night games. Week 15, we're running out of time for these games. So what do we say? Everybody at home, at work, if you're at work, stand up at your desk and repeat after me. I'm going to kick my wife down a flight of stairs. I'm sending my children to a foster home. I'm sending my ailing mother to hospice. I'm clearing my schedule because it's coming down the stretch of the National Football League, which for all of its shitty parts, and as a big a piece of shit as Roger Goodell is, there's no denying it's the greatest sports for television out there. High stakes, betting, fantasy, just straight off playoff implications. Enjoy it. You deserve it. We'll see you soon. God bless the troops, and may God bless these 50 United States of America. Happy birthday to me. Goodbye.